some issues here, but I will share it in a minute. So we can start out by introducing ourselves. Guys, let me talk about the topic. I choose this topic since I am a teenager, I think. So I love talking about adulthood and teenager stuff since I am experiencing this. So I think it's such a great topic to talk about. I like to hear other people's stories and experiences of this stage of life, this step of life. So I think it will be such a great one.
Can you share the questions again, Melissa?
Oh, I'm sorry.
I didn't get it.
Just a minute, because YouTube thing is going on here. Got it. I'm so sorry. Let me share all over again. Today we're having a private meeting, just the three of us. Oh no, there's one more showing up. There are 12 questions. You're welcome. There are 12 questions, but it's Zoom is limiting the questions. So I had to send 2 messages. Let me accept another person who's here. Participants. Wait. Here, admit. Okay, we're on YouTube right now, and that's awesome because, as I said, you can check on your performance afterwards. So, as I was commenting right here, just a minute. See, this morning we'll be talking about adulthood and teenager stuff because it's such an experience that we all have been through. So I think we have a lot to share. Morning, sir. How are you doing?
Hello.
Hello.
Let me hear.
Perfect. That's awesome. I'm so glad.
I may get the surprise because when I see my agenda, I saw I have a class. But I'm fair. Nice to meet you. What's your name?
My name is Melissa.
Melissa, nice to meet you. My name is Fer. I am 18 years old. I'm a public worker. I study English. I recently, about 5 months. I remember, 3 years ago, I did a trip to India. When I come back from India, I told myself, I have to learn English anyway because I have some problem there because I can understand anything. I can understand communicate because India is very complete too. Because in some places the people don't speak English. The people speak a mix of language, Tamil, Sanskrit. It's very complete. So when I come back to Brazil, this way I learn English anyway. Yeah, in beginning, I was afraid to make mistake. I was afraid to get stuck. I was afraid to serve the joke another person. But I put my face for it. It is, because someone says the best way to speak English is speak. Okay.
Great. I'm totally with you on that. The best way to practice any language is speaking. There's no way. So I'm pretty glad that you're here. Hilton just log off. But anyways, log out, actually. This morning, as I was saying, we'll be talking about adulthood and stuff. Fern, let me ask you, have you received the questions? There are 12 questions. Can you see them?
I haven't.
Just open your
I
chat
haven't
and you see it.
the question.
Let me send you again. But anyways, so let me introduce myself and then we can start out. So I am Melissa. I'm a host here on EAPNG. I'm 19 years old. I'm based in São Paulo. And I'm really trying to get into a psychology college. How about you, Anil? Can you introduce yourself, please?
Yes, sure. I'm Anil from Turkey, 29 years old, and I'm working at a university as a lecturer. I'm graduated from software engineering in Turkey in 2015, and I live in Mersin, which is located in south of Turkey. Yeah, that's all for now.
Great, great. We're all so happy to have you here. Nice to meet you again.
Thank you.
How about you, Pasqua? Can you introduce yourself?
Melissa,
Yes.
sorry, I forget said about my city. I'm from Rio de Janeiro. I lived in a small city called Nova Friburgo. Have you heard of Friburgo? In Região Mountain. Sometimes here is very cold. It's very cold. Okay.
Can't believe it. I've known like Lapa, because once I went to Rio de Janeiro, but I don't know your hometown.
It's
but
very famous, Rio de Janeiro.
I hope in the future I could get to know your hometown. Thanks for clarifying. So, Pasqua?
Okay, I'm 28 years old and I study literature. I'm getting a master's degree right now. And that's it.
Literature, I love it.
Yes.
Such my favorite subject. Great, nice to meet you all, guys. Let's get started, because I'm too eager to start out. So, the very first question, number one, how would you describe adolescence in keywords or short phrases? Impulsivity. How about you guys? You can just open your mind and drop a few words.
This topic is very complex because I'm very old man. The old man has a soul full of poetry, song, rock and roll. Don't have space for stupidity. But I love speak young people, the teen. But the one you start a conversation, you have some situations very stupid. For me, it's very difficult to keep up the conversation. But I love you. Exchange idea is very fantastic because you can bring some idea for there. If the team bring another idea, another conception in your life, the best thing I love in teenage this disposition or new thing, run, beach, party. It's fantastic.
I got you. I feel you. Great, great, great. Thanks for sharing. How about you, Pastor? How would you describe adolescence in short phrases?
I would say it's a mess up period. Sometimes can be, at least, because we are trying to figure out ourselves and what we are gonna do, what career we are gonna choose. So I would say that.
I'm totally with you. We are just so curious about the world and things, so impatient as well. But anyways, How about you, Anil? Do you agree with us?
Yes, exactly. Adolescence, like between childhood and adulthood, but we don't know so many things about the life, but it's fun, I think.
Great. I'm with you on that.
For example,
Hmm.
go ahead. For example, I have a book in Malta. I will do exchange program. But sometimes I wonder if I will have how handle with the class flood need. Uh, uh, what I said before. Uh, when the conversation is good, it's cool, né? But I don't know how handle about the stupidity because when you heard some conversation like stupid, for me is very complex. I don't have a passion because of this. I don't have a passion because my mind in this time focus in something like music, like poetry, like philosophy. But uh, have some people, young people, so much smart. Is the conversation sometimes fluid, fantastic. About this.
Yeah.
But in Malta, I don't know how it'll be the structure of the each class. Okay. But I think the coordination exchange program try um, make the class in accord the age the people attend the class.
Okay, I see what you mean. Like each
Have you
teenager.
have you done exchange program?
No, I haven't, but in the future
Okay.
I am planning to. But I mean, I see what you mean. Like each teenager has then their individualities, singularities. So they are different from another, such complex things and stuff. But would you like to say anything, Anil? You open your mic, I thought. Okay, so
Yes.
would you like to say? Okay, go on.
But you say Melissa, right? You are 19, so you are still at this stage. So you know better than us, I think.
I don't know anymore because I kind of feel like I am a young adult. I don't know how to define adolescence. I don't know if I identify myself as adolescence. Just a minute. Let's hear from Pasqua, the second question, guys. Just a sec. How about you, Pasqua? How do you feel about adulthood?
I feel it's an interesting phase because you got to know more about yourself. At least I think all the time we are getting to know ourselves, but you have to deal with a lot of responsibilities as they told us. So I think it's harder than when we are a team in some ways.
I'm with you on that. It seems like we are still curious, and as you said, we are still getting to know ourselves, but we are kind of dealing with more frustrations, and I don't know you, but I am too nostalgic, you know? I have been having a lot of nostalgia at times and this kind of stuff, but I see what you mean. How about you, Anu? What about adulthood? How would you describe it in a nutshell?
Adulthood. I think it's not good because you have more responsibility. You face the real life, especially working life. You have to earn money. You have to take care of your family, and you have maybe, if you have kids, you have to take care of kids. So I don't like to be adult, but what can
I
Yes.
Yeah.
Let me just try a comment. I totally feel you, Anu. Like I'm just like a young adult, and media has lied to me. Media told me that I would have a car, that I would have a house at 18 years old. I'm so mad about it because I feel like media has lied to me. So I totally feel you. I don't have kids, by the way, but I do face some difficulties of life, some hardships of life, since my mom is a solo mom, so we both face a lot of difficulties, but I totally see what you mean. How about you, Fern? What do you have to add?
Melissa, it used to be adult is not fun because you form family, you have some obey, very bill for you pay. And, everything relates relation about your life in this way practice is very complete. You handle about this. For example, I love teenage, but I hate be father of teenage. It's very complete. But something you being adult is wonderful because when you have possibility for you support yourself, you have a possibility to live your life is very free. You can travel anywhere, anytime. When you have time, when you have possibility, financial possibility for you, for example, travel abroad, it's fantastic. Something the people, young people, don't have because don't people young uh, 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 have studied so much, have learned some new profession. On the other hand, adult, you have this possibility. You live your life totally free when you have possibility for, for example, have money for doing anything you want to do. It's fantastic because it is. But, for example, in my life, I get adult very early. I get out of father house very early. About 14 years, I I'm alone in the world. I born in Maceió, 14 years old. I'm totally free, alone for life, for living my life.
Mhm. I see what you mean. Like, personally, I don't have to have kids in the future, but I'm still aware of the adulthood hardship. And as you said, bills is such a big problem, like significant problem. And that's not drama. I mean, I can't keep up with my money, and money is such a struggle of my life. I don't know how you feel about it, but I have no control on my money, and that sucks a lot. But I do
It's
see what you mean.
it's a big problem. It's a
Yes.
big problem. But fortunately, I'm public work. I work for Court of Dirt. I have I earn a good money. I'm not rich, but I have a good profession in Court of Dirt. Okay, I have time for life my for live my life. For example, I love so much to practice sport outdoor. I'm when I was young, I practice triathlon. Have you heard triathlon?
No.
Swim. Uh, uh, now because my back hurt so much, I just swim. I can swim long distance.
Mhm.
It's because my job uh, uh, gives me time for me uh,
Okay.
live my life.
Mhm.
It's fantastic. But unfortunately, I have some people don't have this possibility because the job don't can't save money. Uh,
I see. Let me check with you because we have a limit time, and I really want to hear from Pascal, you see. So it's important to respect each speech time. But thanks for you. How about you, Pascal? How do you feel about your money? And you can answer the third question, sorry.
Oh, okay. Yeah, money is a struggle, I think, for anyone that doesn't have much. So unless you are born in a wealthy family, I think it may not be an issue. You will have other issues for sure. But yes, I think it's considering the society we live in, it can be a lot of struggle because you can only exert your freedom if you have money. You can only travel and enjoy and eat things and I don't know, go out if you have money to do this kind of thing. So, and into the third question, I agree because I think this about feeling or being an adult or a teen, it's more of a mental state. It's about your physical body, of course, but it's more about a mental state. So 18, it's really young to feel an adult. You have so much to do, yet you are starting the adult struggles, let's say.
I see what you mean. I see what you mean. Like, regarding the third question, despite of biological stuff and mindset stuff, I would say that it's the kind of experience, because my mom had me when she was 16-year old. So she found herself acting like an adult when she was 16, 17. So I would say that is totally related to the experience ever life. I think it's such a singular thing. I don't feel myself as an adult. I try to keep up with my responsibilities, but I don't feel like I am an adult, this kind of thing. And I do agree with this psychologist. Totally, totally, totally. But anyways, how about you, Fern? Can you remember when you were 18 years old? How was it like? Do you agree with the psychologist?
I how I said before, I don't have a possibility live my life normally because I get out of house. Father is very ill, just a little boy. I'm working so much. My life, everything I got able with so much effort. I have to work is hard. My life is very complete, for handle with her, with his it's. But some problem with this. Você vai no Brasil? I need to handle with this, this some problem because I have to solve this problem myself all the time. Psychology is very confusing for me. For me, my school, I have to do I don't know what to say this word, supletivo, in English. But my part of my school, I did this way, online, made approve for gain some for me for formação in school. I have to handle this problem with assistant family. My family is I'm just saw I'm alone all the time. This problem with teenage young people have. I have so myself.
I see. First of all, I'm so happy for you that you kept track of your studies. You didn't give up. That's awesome. Let me ask you, would you say that your adolescence was interrupted? Something like that? Fern, are you there?
Sorry, repeat, please.
Of course. Would you say that your adolescence was interrupted, that you didn't live your adolescence?
The most people in my life, I live so very alone. Group of the adolescents is very confusing for me. No, because I'm always very old man. See me in I had been in my adolescence. My group of the people always adult men, adult people. I my con my convince with another friend is very complete, né? Very different, né? The part of the people, né? In this age, né? The people, for example, 14 years, né? I work so much for live, né? E I in this time I thought like man, né? Old man is very confused. But sometimes I was disconnect everything. Uh, uh, I went to the party. I went to the oh, what do you say the this word parque de diversão?
I forgot,
Amusement,
but
amusement,
yeah, maybe.
It's amusement park.
amusement park. Né? Sometimes it's wonderful. I because you have to in your life had uh, several time for live this thing about childhood, teenage, adulthood.
Adulthood. Yeah.
Yeah. Então, this is so much important in formation all the people, né? E when you break this time, you don't get balance. You lose your balance, né?
I see. That's right. You
How,
kind of.
how yeah. It's
I see it.
you past create uh, 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 like lucky balance, no?
I
It's
see.
it's
I
very
see. I see.
complete. Yeah.
Thanks for your sharing. I see what you mean. So you had to work such an early age, like at 14. I see what you mean. Thanks for sharing, Fern. Thank you so much. How about you, Pascal? Do you have a similar story like Fern? And you can answer the fourth question. How was your adolescence life?
No, I didn't have. I had the, let's say, the usual adolescence life in the sense of studying and getting to college. I had to work at 16, I think, but it was as in some kind of temp work. So I don't think it was that hard. I don't know. I had to jungle with college and work, but I think it was okay. About the fourth question, I think we talked a little about how on adolescence you have a bit regarding pros, a bit of usually a bit of more free time to do your hobbies mainly. The cons usually is that you don't have money to do other things. While in adulthood, it's the contrary. You have less time because you gotta work, but sometimes you have a bit more money.
I see what you mean. I see. Yeah, we kind of just talked about it. You know what, guys? We are running out of time, but we can answer some of the questions. The fifth question is so interesting. It goes like, is there any specific event in your life that made you fully aware of your adolescence or adulthood transition? And then, Pastor, is there any specific event in your life?
I think when I moved out of my family's home, I moved out around 24, 22. I don't know, I was the first to move out of my family's home. And then I into another city. So I was by myself. And I think it was harder than I expected.
Harder than you expect? Like, what kind of problems did you deal with?
I think it was harder because I didn't know I would feel so lonely in another place with no, losing contact with my friends and my family. And so having to start a kind of, let's say, a new life. So it had a lot of good sides, but it also had some things that I didn't had predicted. I haven't predicted.
I see what you mean. I want so bad to live alone and move out, but I'm aware of these kind of difficulties. Thanks for sharing. How about you, Fern? Is there any specific event in your life?
The best thing happened in my life was practicing sport outdoor. Because I remember in some moment in my life, I smoke so much. It's very young. When I have left the smoke, I start to practice sport. Because of this, I become an athlete. When I start to practice sport regular, I I could know any people practice sport. I realize how many people equips very easily for hand, for swimming. The people have open mind. Sometimes in this meeting with the guys practice sport like me, is the conversation. I remember I had a good conversation with this guy. All the conversation, all the people I meet in this time helped so much uh, my 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 action about build my characters, my formation about how how uh, human being you don't you do. No? It is helping so much experience. I remember because practice sport, I could know several countries like uh, uh, in South America, Argentina, Chile. Before now, after I know the Europe, I lived in Spain. I I could know so much all the country in Europe. I don't have a problem with communication in Europe, because sometimes I got so much I'm ashamed because the people in Europe at least speak three languages, Spanish, your mother tongue, quer dizer, his mother tongue in English. I don't have problem because my Spanish is not very good, but I can understand so much. The people speak Spanish. I live in Spain for 9 months. In this time, I practice triat so much. I travel for Russia, São Petersburgo, Holland, France, so much country I could know in this time because sport, because on decision in your life modify all the goals in your life.
That's so
Exato.
it. That's so it. That's awesome. Sports had given you so much opportunities. That's
Sorry,
so awesome.
sorry, Melissa.
Yes.
Sorry, Miss. I left the class now because I am driving. Okay.
Okay, you're
I'll
driving.
see you another opportunity. Okay.
Alrighty, I'll hope for you. Oh my God, you're driving.
Nice to meet you, Melissa.
Nice
So
to meet
much.
you. I'm
Nice to
glad
meet
to meet
you,
you.
Pascal.
See
Okay.
ya next time. Oh my gosh, Fun is driving. That's but anyways, Pasqua, how about you? Like, answer rate. I would like to answer another question. We still have time. The 11th one. I find it so interesting. Are you comfortable in your skin, your own skin, as an adult or as an adolescent? Like, are you happy right now with yourself? Are you satisfied?
I think I am. This question is a bit, I don't know, tricky to answer right now.
Hey, why?
Because I am getting around some problems, but I think I would say I am comfortable in some level, or at least I know what I have to do to get there. So I would say yes, more comfortable than when I was an adolescent and then I was as a teen.
You know what? I think that my adolescence was kind of interrupted because since my mom had me when she was 16, she didn't want the same for me. Okay, I understand that, but I used to live kind of in a cage. So when I turned 16, I went crazy. I kind of cut off my hair and I tried to hang out with questionable people, this kind of stuff. At the end, everything turned out to be great, but anyways. Just the two of us here, so we still have time. You can pick up a question. Which one would you like to answer?
Oh, I just want to say that I also lived in a kind of cage as a teen.
Really?
Because my family was very protective, and they were very conservative. So I didn't get to do much as a teen.
Let me ask you, like, was it crazy when you reach out to your family and say, bye, I'm moving out, kisses, see ya? It was like, was it a drama or not?
I don't think it had drama because I am very private. So it was something that I always, in a way, talked about, that I wanted to live in another place. But I guess they didn't expect me to actually do it. So a kind of 1 month before I said that I was moving out, and they were really surprised. I think they said later they were kind of shocked. But because I am quiet, so I guess they didn't expect, as I said. But I don't think it didn't have drama. I think it was more an experience for them to learn why I was moving out and other stuff.
I see what you mean. Alrighty. Like, you don't live in your hometown, if I'm not mistaken.
No. Yes, I live in Rio Grande do Sul, and my hometown is Manaus, Amazonas.
That's very so far away. I see why they were shocked, but You're the best to tell more about it. Okay. As I was saying, which question would you like to answer that you find interesting?
Okay. I think the seventh question. Seventh question.
Okay. And then,
are there any difference when comparing adults from past generation to current ones? I think there are a lot of difference, especially, I don't know if you can say especially now, but I have a friend who teaches teens, who give lessons to teens, and he says this generation, he is always saying that this generation is kind of more free. They do what they want, like more freely. If a guy wants to experiment another guy, they do, just to try to find out, while comparing with his experience, this was a thing that he wouldn't do. He was always afraid of judgment and this kind of stuff. What about you? What do you think?
So, amongst a lot of differences, I would say that social issues we kind of address more. As you said, a person feels totally free to hook up with anyone and this kind of stuff. I think we address lots more. Like emotional problems is such a significant thing to talk about. As an example, Simone Biles, who has kind of gave up the Olympics. I don't want to say gave up, but she preferred to work on your emotion stuff, you see? So I think we address a lot of social issues, a lot of agenda, and I'm so happy for it. So fortunately, we talk about races, indigenous agenda, LGBTQIA plus agenda, and I'm so happy for it. I think in that aspect, there's so much to be achieved, but we kind of made a progress. I think we can say like that. The feminist agenda as well. So I think there are lots more to achieve as well. Great. Do you agree?
I agree. I think it's more like we said, for example, regarding emotional issues, it becomes like more normal to say you are doing therapy, for example, or that you do therapy, we want to do, to see a psychologist. When before it was more like, okay, you are crazy. Why do you want to go to therapy? Are you crazy? What do you have? Are you depressed? And stop being depressed and this kind of stuff. While like now it's more, okay, we all have issues. So it's great that you are dealing with them. Like Simone Biles, it's a great example, I think.
I see what you mean. You know what? Another aspect I would say is still talking about freedom. I would say that we have choices, too much choices and options to go on with our life, you know? Because if we think about the past stereotypes, the woman were to be the household girl, you know, were to be with children and stuff. She must want to have children and forget about professional life. The man must provide for the household. So I think we have a lot of options. And and I don't know, we do have a lot of options, and do we have a lot of new problems? Because I don't know, maybe it's kind of challenging to discover ourselves, you know? It's not a problem. I'm so happy that we have a lot of options, but new options, new problems, I think, new things to tackle. Do you agree?
Yes, I agree. I think it's similar from a book I read, that the girl also, it was that period where women were getting to work more, but they had at a certain age to choose between work and family, because they could not do both usually, as a kind of thing expected. So she used a metaphor by saying that it was like that she had she was at a massive tree with lots of fruits on the tree, and she could choose any fruit. But because it was a lot of fruits, she was like having problems to choose just one, because she wanted all, or she wanted to experiment a bit of everything. So I think it's
so good.
so I think it's about this, trying to figure out what we want, because we cannot have it all. We have to
Yes, I couldn't put it better. This metaphor kind of sums up everything that I was trying to say. Good, 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 good. So let me find another one. The 12th one, such an interesting one. Complete the gap. My adolescence or adulthood would be better if
Oh.
if I had saved up money. My adulthood would be better, for sure. How about you?
I think it's similar to ours. If I guess I didn't have to deal with with money issues. I think it's money were not an issue, it would be better.
You see, we kind of get into a consensus. So that's all for today, Pasqua. Thank you so much for making it to the end. I'm sharing the YouTube link right now, and Ilton, Fern, and Anil, if you are watching us on YouTube, please subscribe and leave a comment. You as well, Pascal. Let me ask you, have you joined this conversation, this topic?
Yes, I enjoyed the topic and also your way of doing things. It's very nice.
Thank you so much. This means the world to me. So please, Pascal, leave a comment and thumbs up if possible. That's it. See you next time. Bye-bye, you too. Bye-bye, Pascal.